What is up, Sneeples? We are back at it with the Mistveils, but this time we're going to be talking about the classes. We do this for every new set that comes out. We review every card of the certain class and just kind of determine if it's going to be good in limited and constructed or in UPF, whatever. Just to kind of go over each one of these cards. So let's get into it. We're going to be going over new today. And then we'll have the other two coming out as well. So be sure to check them out as well. But let's get into new. All right, starting with new. We'll get to all the Mystic stuff in another video. But starting with new, she seems to be, like, she's, to me, going to be very much in the meta. So I would expect to see her at the very least early on. But I think she has enough cards that we can reasonably expect her in the meta. I don't know how big she'll be in the meta, but I can see her making a huge impact. As far as CC, I'm not 100% sure if Blitz. I don't play Blitz as much as I might like to, but in CC, I think she definitely will be. So moving on to her weapon here. This is her token weapon, so you'll have this in limited. No need to draft it because you just can't. But anyways, in constructed, I actually think she probably will still play this weapon. I think this is actually has very good value to it, even better than like a spider bite, because a spider bite does have piercing, which is nice, prevents, like, you know, Valiant Dynamo blocks, and this one can easily be blocked by Valiant Dynamo. So, you know, this one does suffer into Warrior, but is one-handed. So maybe, you know, you just have this equipped with a spider bite, and if, well, I guess with Warrior you want like or Beetle class or Nerf Scalpel. But let's say you have Nerf Scalpel on the other hand, then you just come in with Nerf Scalpel instead, and you'll be fine. But I do think this card should be played in constructed just because it has 3.5 value for 2, and that's like pretty good for a weapon. Yeah, I think getting the +1 and go again is actually really good. It does have to be blue, so I don't know, maybe it's not the best, but like, there's going to be a lot of blue cards here, so I think you'll be fine. I think it's okay to go Spider Bite, though, over this if you really wanted. I don't think this is a necessity. I just feel like there's going to be times where you're going to want to swing with the Beckoning Mistblade because of its value, and it's going to need to be blocked from your opponent. Otherwise, your opponent's just giving way too much value into it. Okay. Mask of Recurring Nightmares. This is a card that's really pushing chi. I mean, you do have New's ability that wants you to do it, but yeah, Mask of Recurring Nightmares. This just saying, hey, we're going to go ahead and just banish a card from their hand is super good. Something similar to Coronet Peak, except this is a attack reaction, and I think what makes this the best is that it says once per turn attack reaction, pay 3 chi, and that's it, which means no, you don't have to destroy this. This isn't a one-time use. This is do it as many times as you have chi. Basically forces your opponent to take a card out of their hand, and which later maybe you can play. I mean, this could be a very late game new deck, or there could be some versions that are very late game. So I think that's going to be very good with Massive Recurrent Nightmares. Heirloom of Snakehide. This is not constructed, other than maybe commoner, and this is much more of a limited card. I think this card's fine if you can get it in limited, but I wouldn't go very highly. I don't have this card ranked very highly, just because you do have to be at 1, which is kind of, it's, first off, it's risky, and it's not always achievable. Oftentimes you'll die at 2 because you'll just take 2 points of damage, or even more than 2 points of damage, and you'll never actually even get to 1. So I'm a little hesitant with this card. Yes, it can be blocking for 3 with Battle Worn, 2 and then 1, but I don't know. I don't have this card highly. These other 2 I do for limited. Yeah, Arousing Wave, creating a Fang Strike in your hand. I mean, that's basically paying 1 to get +1. But it has Battle Worn, which that's extremely nice. That's very good, especially when you're facing the mirror match and you're facing a new deck with Beckoning Mistblade. Easy block with the Arousing Wave. Yeah, so you definitely want to use it to create Fang Strike because, yeah, Fang Strike, That's an attack reaction. There's going to be cards we'll find out that want you to play multiple attack reactions. Undertow Stilettos. This card is actually really good. I think this card should be drafted first if you plan on playing Assassin, or drafted even before you pick the class, because this card basically says pay 1, give, go again. So it's not as good as a Snap per se, but you do just get to play Slither, which gives your, I believe, a stealth card go again. Very good card. Also has Battleborn, which is also very good. Very, very good in limited. Now, in constructed, I think there might be an argument to play this, at the very least, a budget version of Black Tech Whisper. Black Tech Whisper does cost 0, where this does cost 1. But sometimes your Black Tech Whisper, I mean, it's almost essentially the same thing, where it's like, if you don't have a lot of contract in your deck, your Black Tech Whisper activates once and only once per game. The reason why you would play it over Snapdragon is because it blocks for 1. Well, this also blocks for 1, and it only activates once per game. However, creating a Slither, which is an attack reaction, might be better, just because we have cards that want you to play multiple attack reactions. So I think the cold foil is going to be very good, but I don't know. This card might see limited play. Probably Black Tech's a better one because it costs 0, but this could be a very serviceable budget item. All right, Gorgon's Gaze. This card is beyond nuts. I actually really like the art on it too, with snakes and whatnot. Okay, so yeah, the Slither is a attack react, so that's already good. So now we can have 2 attack react within 1 card, right? Slither gives the go again, so that's already really good. And then we're banishing all the attack action cards, which maybe some decks don't block with a lot of attack action, like Warriors and whatnot, but whatever. This is still just a good card, right? You're still gonna play it for the other decks, and then. So that takes all the damage that they're blocking, that takes it away, right? Now your card hits, right? Your card gets a hit and it gets to deal all that damage. But on top of it all, if a Chi was pitched to play this, now we can play those banished cards without having to pay their cost. And because we have Slither in our hand, we can use that as well to give our attack go again, so then we can play that banished card. It's pretty cool. It's pretty nutty. It's pretty cool. It's attack reaction, so it's it's nothing that they see coming. So you do get extra value with the Chi. Even without the Chi, though, it's a very good card. It's like a route without the Chi, and then with the Chi, it's like a route plus more, which can be very good, right? Imagine like a Spinal Crush blocking your attack, and then boom, now you play a Spinal Crush. It can be insane, right? Your opponent's definitely going to have to fear this card, especially if you have Chi. So this card's just so good. Just such a good card. So definitely pushing for the Chi concept. Master Recurrent Nightmare and Gorgon's Gaze, obviously news ability as well. So definitely going to want to think about how many transcend cards you're going to want to put in your deck so that you can get Chi more often than not. Siren's Call here is a good attack reaction. I do think this card might see situational play. It might just be a main board card, but gets taken out for certain matchups. It's obviously very, very good against aggro matchups where they don't even want to block anyways. And most of the time, like an aggro deck, like let's say you're going against like Zen, probably has like 1 blue in his hand. And then the rest are just attacks, right? So 1 blue to pay for all the attacks, and then, that's it. Well, I mean, yeah, being able to take that 1 blue and force them to block it. This has like some Pulse Wave Harpoon type mechanics to it, which is a very good aggro card, right? Anti-aggro card. This card definitely loses its value versus decks that have a lot of blue to begin with, like Guardian, that don't necessarily need every single card in their hand to have effective turns, even if you took away a blue card. So I think maybe this does come out versus some matchups, but against aggro, this is kind of a must, I would say. Like forcing aggro to block is always what aggro does not want. Okay, Sacred Art Undercurrent Designs, that becomes the Chi that we've been wanting. This card's good. It does cost 3, but if we played another blue card this turn, we get to do all these modes, right? Otherwise, we only get to transcend, which is probably what we do, unless like Fang Strike and Slither can help finish the game. But yeah, this is one of the transcend cards. I mean, it's a legendary, so unfortunately we can only have one. But this is one of the transcend cards that we're going to need to have so that we can help get ourselves some chi. All right. Tide Chakra. The chakras I'm kind of on whatever about. They block for 3. That's nice. But, like, I don't know. There's other attack reactions that give a little bit more. You have to transcend for this to really be, like, on rate. So I think this card's kind of mediocre. I think in draft, I might be more okay with it. I think you can probably, especially because you can have multiple copies of legendaries, like this might be more achievable in draft, but in constructed, I don't think we see this card get played. So that goes for all 3 versions. Hiss, I do think we could see this card get played in constructed. This is basically a 1 for 4 because you do get to get a Fang Strike in your hand, which Fang Strike is a 0 for 1. So this is a 1 for 4, and that's pretty good, especially when you pair it with like an attack that has an on hit. So that could be very good. You do have to pitch a blue card to make that work, but you only have to pitch it like this turn. So that blue card can be paid for anything, right? So I actually think Hiss is very, very good. Definitely see the red, maybe the blue as well, maybe the yellows in constructed. In limited, I think you probably try to grab each version. Yeah, for sure. I think that's like Hiss is just very, very good. Intimate Inducement, target assassin or mystic. Okay, yeah. So this one is I don't know. This one's just kind of interesting. I don't think this is actually going to be played in constructed. I think it's fine in limited. I probably would play the blue one just because then it's a blue pitch that blocks for 3. But the red one, like doing a blue and just like forcing the block of a blue card is kind of just whatever. Well, I guess you could force them block with any card. Yeah, you could take away like their key card, and that can be very cool. Basically, what I'm saying with this card in limited is that like I wouldn't draft highly for it. If it comes around and it works out, hell yeah. I think the blue is I have more value than the red just because of how much blue synergy is within this set. Venomous Bite. This one is very, very good. It's just like basically. Oh, sorry. Fang. Okay, Venomous Bite gives the Fang Strike. That was on me. Hiss gives Slither. So Hiss definitely gets played, probably in all 9 variations or all 3 variations in constructed because Slither is just good. Fang or Venomous Bite probably gets played in red and blue because of Fang Strike. So still, it's 1 for 4. I just had these mixed up. My bad. That is all the Mystic Assassin cards that are out there. Not a ton. Like most of it is Assassin cards that we've been seeing, but these cards are definitely what help to like Hiss is such a very good card, and obviously Gorgon's Gaze, Siren's Card, Call, and then the Sacred Art. There's a lot to help New out become competitive right off the bat, and I think she will be. I think she's going to be a fun deck, and I do think you're going to want to try to figure out how you want to try to figure out your chi ratio, because the more chi you can have with cards like Gorgon's Gaze and Mass Recurring Nightmares, even her own ability, the more success you're going to have. So be sure to check out the other day's videos where we talk about the other class. Until then, keep on fabbing.